Hi there, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to 12 Days of Christmas Day 7. I have a fun new project to share with you today. And today I will be using the basic pattern decorative masks. These are actually on low inventory right now, so if you're thinking about getting them, you should order them soon. The item number is 150697. This is gift number 7 in my 12 Days of Christmas gift box. And you might remember I actually used one of these templates in an earlier video when I made this card. I used the shimmer paint mixed with rubbing alcohol in a Stampin' Spritzer to spritz and create the background for this card. So there are so many different ways that you can use the templates. And let me show you another way. So in addition to using the spritzers, you can also use sponges, sponge dauber, the brayer. So I'm just going to do a quick little background here using this template. It kind of reminds me of leaves, even though they're not totally leafy, but I'm going to just take the sponge and sponge. I don't know how well we can brayer. Like burnish, I guess, rather. So you can add color. And the fun thing about doing it this way is that maybe like you don't get a complete image and you only get half of it, and that just makes it kind of for a really cool background. So right now I'm using old olive ink and just sponging. I don't have a finished project to show you for this. I just thought I'd grab it at the last minute and show you another way to use the templates. But I will have to finish the project and show you tomorrow what it looks like. But let's reveal now. See, I love how the edges just like are not totally complete. Okay, so that was sponging. This was spritzing. And so today I want to show you another project using the templates. This time I'm using Stampin Blends. I was inspired by a card that Stampin Up had posted in the online store using the dots, and they used a piece of foil cardstock and then used the Stampin Blends to color inside the dots. So I decided I would give that a try, and here's what I found. Let me show you some of my oopsies. That if you're too heavy-handed, that the blends kind of carry underneath the mask and then smear in places that you don't want them. Okay, so with the Stampin' Blends, I'm coloring inside the circle. I'm using the not the fine tip, but the sort of the other tip. And I'm not quite going to the edges of the mask because I don't want any of the ink from the blend to leak through under the mask. So I'm using the mask as a guide, but I'm not doing it all the way to the edges because I don't want any bleeding to happen. Okay, so what I did was I went all the way through. I should have a finished one, but I just have my finished project. So when you're doing this, you want to just do them randomly. Like maybe you have a grouping and then you have a couple that are empty. You could, if you wanted to, do every single hole in the mask. It just depends on what you're going for. So I'm going to stop there and show you what I have. So very random, kind of a big cluster up there, but you get the idea. So the Stampin' Blends are alcohol markers, so they will stick to the foil, whereas a regular marker won't. So let me show you really quickly on the foil cardstock. Let me grab a regular marker. Okay, so this is, let me grab the same color. This is Cherry Cobbler. This is a Stampin' Write marker, which is a water-based dye ink. So let me line these up, and I'm going to show you how like it just sort of beads up, and then it doesn't completely dry. I don't want to smear it with my fingers. Here, I have a paper towel. So it doesn't dry, so that's what's going to happen with the regular markers. The Stampin' Blends, the alcohol marker, it sticks to the foil. So when you're doing this technique, you definitely need to be using a Stampin' Blend on foil paper. Now you could use a regular marker on regular cardstock. And so that's kind of another fun way to do this, is you can add some different textures. So I'm gonna just circle, draw an outline over each of them. And then you can go back here and like do some hashing or some other drawing inside your circles. And you can have them evenly spaced out. So that is another technique. You can do that with regular markers. Another way, oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought of this until just now. Although I feel like maybe I've done it before. Like, I feel like a big stamp would work really well. I want to say that I've done it before with a background stamp that had script, and I'm just looking inside my cabinet to see if I have anything like that. That might have to be for another day. But what I did, if I remember right in the past, is I sponged over it, and then I also stamped. This is not the right thing, but let's see what we get with this. So this is the one I sponged earlier, and if you take some words over it, oh, that just smeared big time. Okay, so this is not exactly what I had intended, but you can see like it only adds the text or the image to the open spaces. So if you had a background stamp like a text or a script that was more tight, there was more detail, that could look really super cool. I'll have to post the link to the project I did. It was a few years ago, using that technique. Let me wipe this off. Now I've made a mess. I'm going to have to cover up that part when I make my card. So let me show you what I did to finish off the dot card. So I used the Stitched So Sweetly dies. These are the same ones that I used on that calendar. Do you guys remember? I posted that. So this rectangle came from this set of dies, and so did these labels. So this is a really great die set because it's got the stitched rectangles. It's got some fun labels. This is called Stitched So Sweetly. It's number 151690. So to finish this card, I die cut this label out, and then I die cut a smaller label. This is from the same label set using Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I'm using the Tag Buffet stamp set. This coordinates with the Tag Buffet project kit, which is going on sale. Oh my gosh, I forgot to, oh no, I have it. There's a big sale that starts tomorrow, and make sure that you check out all the deals. I created this flyer that shows pictures of all the things that are on sale. So the Tag Buffet project kit is 50% off. There's so many items that are 50% off or less. So the maximum discount here is 50% off, but that's an amazing discount. Okay, so all of these deals start tomorrow, Tuesday, December 8th, while supplies last. So I will put the link to this flyer in my video description when I'm all done, so you guys can check that out. So you definitely want to watch for those deals and get your order in early tomorrow, because I'm sure that things are going to sell quickly. Okay, so now I'm just going to color in with the Stampin' Blends. I'm using the Cherry Cobbler and Just Jade. And I love that these little berries sort of reflect the dots that I did on the background. Okay, so let me show you the finished card. I used Stampin' Dimensionals to put that die cut larger label back down. So it blends in with the background, but it kind of pops up and it has the stitched border. And then I added the sentiment on top with a little bit of Just Jade ribbon. Isn't that pretty? Now, I copied this one directly from the sample project I saw on the Stampin' Up website. I changed up the colors and used a different sentiment, but I used the same dies that they did in the same technique. So such a fun way to use these decorative masks. And like I said, they are low inventory. So if you have been eyeing the masks since I showed you this project a couple days ago, and I think I'm going to use them again tomorrow, you might want to add that to your order when you place your order tomorrow and get these decorative masks. They're in the annual catalog, so if you don't get them or they go on back order, don't worry. They're not going anywhere. They're in the annual catalog, so they're still going to be around for a few more months. And then tomorrow I will also show you the finished project. I'm going to do something with this piece, and I'll show you what I did. So speaking of finished projects, Yesterday I showed you water painters, and so I just wanted to show you how those cards turned out. I love how bright and colorful they are. On both this one and this one, I did the watercolor wash with the big brush. This one was the embossed resist. So I embossed those snowflakes in white first, and then it resisted the color. And then I added a few darker snowflakes with the Bermuda Bay, and then the sentiment in the middle. And on this one, I had used the water painters to do the background. I added some stamping with the dots, and then you guys saw me color in with the water painters. I embossed the image first, and then I colored it in with the water painters. So I just wanted to show you how those turned out. I really, really love them, and now I'm going to be using those water painters so much more. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to come back tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll have another project to share with you for 12 days of Christmas. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this technique. Is this something that you would do? Do you have the masks? Or maybe something similar. We've had some different iterations over the years. I hope that I've inspired you to get them out if you have them and use them, and do something a little fun and different for your Christmas crafting. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye.